Good evening, dear friends. Today I want to share with you a truth that is as comforting as it is mysterious. Angels are among us. They are God's messengers, His servants, sent to guide, protect, and encourage us through life's journey. Though we may not always see them with our eyes, we can often feel their presence in profound ways. When an angel is near, the first and most profound sign is the overwhelming sense of peace that fills our hearts and minds. This peace is not the mere absence of conflict or anxiety, but a deep, divine tranquility that transcends understanding. It is a peace that settles over us in times of trouble, anxiety, or fear, often when we need it the most. In Philippians 4:7, the Apostle Paul speaks of a peace that surpasses all understanding and will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace is a supernatural gift, one that cannot be manufactured by human effort or circumstances. It comes from God alone and serves as a direct reminder of His presence in our lives. When angels are near, we are often enveloped in this divine peace, as their purpose is to bring comfort and reassurance from the Lord. This peace is especially evident in moments of deep distress or uncertainty. Think of the times when we are facing a challenging situation, perhaps an illness, a loss, or a life-altering decision, and yet, amid the turmoil, we feel an inexplicable calmness. This peace that floods our souls serves as an assurance that we are not alone, and that God is at work, even when our circumstances seem bleak. In the Bible, we see this peace manifested in the presence of angels on multiple occasions. For example, when the angel appeared to the shepherds to announce the birth of Christ, they were initially filled with fear, but the angel quickly reassured them with the words, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy." Luke 2:10. The fear was replaced by peace as the message of hope and divine intervention was delivered. Similarly, in the Old Testament, when the angel of the Lord visited Hagar in the wilderness, she was weary, anxious, and lost. But after the angel spoke to her, offering both comfort and direction, she responded by calling God, "You are the God who sees me," Genesis 16:13. The peace she experienced was not just a fleeting feeling, but a lasting assurance that she was seen and cared for by God. Thus, when we experience this peace, it is often a sign that God's angels are near, delivering His reassurance and presence into our lives, making us aware that we are being watched over and guided by His divine protection. Angels are often sent by God to provide unseen protection, intervening on our behalf in ways that we may never fully comprehend. The Bible tells us that God's angels are His messengers, assigned to guard, guide, and protect His people from harm. This protection is sometimes felt in moments of danger or fear, yet it remains largely hidden from our eyes. It is the work of angels that shields us in ways we may never recognize, guarding us from physical, emotional, and spiritual harm. Psalm 91:11-12 reminds us that He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. This passage offers a beautiful promise that angels are assigned to watch over us, not just in times of crisis, but in every step we take. Their protection is constant, ensuring that we are kept from dangers both seen and unseen. Sometimes we may narrowly avoid accidents or other dangerous situations, and it is in those moments we can trust that God's angels were working behind the scenes to keep us safe. In the story of Daniel, we see another example of angelic protection. When Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, he was miraculously protected from harm. King Darius, anxious for Daniel's safety, came to the den early the next morning and called out to him, "Has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Daniel 6:20. Daniel responded, "My God sent His angel, and He shut the mouths of the lions." Daniel 6:22. In this instance, an angel was sent to protect Daniel, ensuring that he was not harmed, even though he was in a dangerous and life-threatening situation. There are countless instances in the Bible where angels are sent to protect God's people, whether it is guarding their physical safety, offering guidance in times of uncertainty, or protecting them from spiritual attack. Angels act as God's messengers, providing not only spiritual encouragement but also a tangible sense of safety in moments when we are vulnerable. Their presence, though unseen, offers assurance that God is watching over us, even when we are unaware of the threats surrounding us. Sometimes the presence of angels is made known through unexplainable events that seem to defy natural logic or understanding. These events can be described as small miracles or moments of divine intervention that occur just when we need them the most. Though angels often work quietly behind the scenes, their actions are sometimes evident in the extraordinary or explainable occurrences that happen in our lives. These occurrences may leave us with a sense of awe, a feeling that something larger than ourselves is at work, guiding us through circumstances that might otherwise overwhelm us. In the Bible, there are many instances where angels are involved in events that defy human comprehension. One such example is the story of the Apostle Peter in Acts 12. Peter was imprisoned and facing certain death, but as the church prayed for him, an angel appeared in his prison cell. The angel led him out of the prison past guards and opened the gates, leading Peter to safety. When Peter realized what had happened, he was astonished, understanding that the events unfolding were nothing short of miraculous. The angel had orchestrated a chain of events that seemed impossible, and yet it was all part of God's plan for Peter's deliverance. Another example can be found in the story of Lot and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. In Genesis 19, two angels visited Lot and warned him of the impending destruction of the cities. These angels not only delivered the message but also guided Lot and his family to safety, urging them to flee before the cities were destroyed. The warning and protection they provided were extraordinary, as the events that followed were both miraculous and tragic, illustrating how angels often play a role in shaping the course of history through divine intervention. These unexplainable events are often accompanied by a deep sense that something supernatural is taking place. They remind us that God is always working on our behalf, even when we cannot see the full picture. In these moments, angels act as instruments of God's will, moving us from one place of safety or protection to another, guiding us through life's challenges in ways that defy human explanation. In times of sorrow, grief, or despair, the presence of angels often manifests as divine comfort, offering reassurance that we are not alone in our suffering. This comfort comes in many forms, from a sudden peace that stills the soul to a sense of being uplifted in the midst of overwhelming pain. Angels are messengers of God's compassion, sent to bring solace and hope when we are at our lowest. Their presence reminds us that God sees our pain and is always near, even when we feel abandoned or forgotten. The Bible speaks of God's comfort through his angels in several powerful instances. In 1 Kings 19, the prophet Elijah, exhausted and discouraged after fleeing from Queen Jezebel, found himself in the wilderness, overwhelmed by fear and despair. At his lowest point, an angel appeared to him, offering food and water and encouraging him to rest. The angel's presence gave Elijah the strength he needed to continue his journey. This moment of divine intervention highlights how angels bring comfort not only in physical ways but also by providing emotional and spiritual encouragement. Similarly, in the Garden of Gethsemane, as Jesus faced the excruciating reality of his coming crucifixion, an angel appeared to him to offer strength. In Luke 22:43, it is written, "An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him." Jesus, in his humanity, experienced deep anguish and sorrow, yet the angel's ministry reminded him of God's faithfulness and presence during his darkest hour. The comfort Jesus received from the angel was a sign that even in moments of profound grief, God provides support, often through the intervention of his heavenly messengers. Angels also provide comfort by delivering messages of hope. In Matthew 28, after Jesus' resurrection, An angel appeared to Mary Magdalene and the other Mary at the empty tomb, bringing the joyful message that Jesus had risen. The angel's words lifted their spirits, transforming their sorrow into joy and their despair into hope. Similarly, when we experience loss or hardship, an angel's presence can serve as a reminder that our mourning is not without purpose and that God is still at work in our lives, even in the midst of our pain. The comfort of angels is a reminder that God's love never leaves us, even when we feel overwhelmed by grief. At times when we find ourselves in uncertain situations, there is a heightened sense of awareness that seems to come from within, urging us to take caution, make a different decision, or trust in a particular path. This feeling of intuition or inner knowing is often a sign that an angel is guiding us, helping us discern God's will for our lives in moments when clarity is needed most. This heightened awareness goes beyond mere instinct. It is a divine nudge, a prompt from the Holy Spirit that directs our thoughts, decisions, and actions. In the Bible, we see several instances where angels provide guidance in moments of uncertainty. One such moment occurs in Acts 16:6-10, when the Apostle Paul and his companions were on their missionary journey. They attempted to enter the province of Asia, but the Spirit of Jesus would not allow them. Later, Paul had a vision of a man from Macedonia pleading with him to come and help. This vision was a divine prompt, guiding Paul and his team to a new direction in God's plan. Although Paul had his own plans, the angelic intervention helped him realize that God had a different path for him, one that would ultimately bring the gospel to an entirely new region. This heightened awareness also often manifests as a sense of peace that accompanies a decision or direction, further confirming that it is in alignment with God's will. When angels are near, they provide clarity in moments of confusion, gently leading us toward the right path. Their guidance helps us make decisions that are in harmony with God's purposes for our lives, even when the way forward is not immediately clear. This divine awareness helps us trust that God is always at work, leading us step by step, often through the quiet whisper of angelic intervention. Angels often communicate with us through signs, symbols, and messages that help guide us, reassure us, and strengthen our faith. These messages may come in many forms through dreams, visions, or even through other people, and they are frequently a way that God speaks to us through His heavenly messengers. While angels may not always speak directly to us with audible voices, the messages they bring are clear and often deeply significant, giving us the direction we need in moments of uncertainty.